Russian cruise missiles rained down on Kyiv this morning, hitting an apartment block while families slept. The city's mayor warned that the Ukrainian capital was under attack as an act of intimidation before critical G7 and NATO summits. The missile strikes were the first to hit Kyiv in 3 weeks and only the second in the past 2 months, shattering a fragile sense of calm after many residents had returned to the city for the first time since the invasion began. Large explosions rang out across the city hours after President Zelenskyy made a renewed plea for air defense systems from Ukraine's allies as they meet to decide on further military support. He warned that the war was entering a morally and emotionally difficult stage. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy made a plea for the country's allies to send it air defense systems in response to continued Russian missile attacks. Zelenskyy made a speech addressed to the Ukrainian people and the world on Saturday as the Russia-Ukraine war reached 4 full months. He said countries issuing punishing sanctions on Russia is not enough, and air defense systems are needed more in Ukraine than anywhere else in the world. But it's not us who will be overpowered, we will overpower them, Zelenskyy said. No Russian missiles, no strikes can break the morale of Ukrainians. And each of their missiles is an argument in our negotiations with partners. Zelenskyy said 45 Russian missiles had struck Ukraine in the past day with the goal of demonstrating that the Russian army will succeed in capturing the country. He said Russia was originally planning to conquer Ukraine within a few days, and the show of force with missiles will not make any strategic difference. This is such a phase of the war, morally difficult, emotionally difficult, he said. When we know that the enemy will not succeed, when we understand that we will still be able to defend our state, but we do not feel the time limits of this, we do not feel how many more strikes, losses, efforts will be before we see that victory is already on our horizon. He said he plans to attend the Group of 7 summit, a meeting of the leaders of the world's largest economies, on Monday and a NATO summit after that. Zelenskyy's speech comes as Ukrainian forces have withdrawn from the city of Severodonetsk, one of the last remaining strongholds in the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine. But Ukraine did achieve a non-military victory this week when it was accepted to be an official candidate to join the European Union. Becoming a member may take years, but the step further integrates Ukraine into the rest of Europe as Moscow attempts to draw it into the Russian sphere of influence. Ukraine requires a strong, contemporary, and fully functional air defense that can guarantee defense against Russian missiles. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the president of Ukraine, made the pertinent remark in his video speech. Additionally, Odessa, Cherkasy, Mykolaiv, and the Chernihiv region were all struck by missiles. In the Kharkiv region, the Sumy region, the Donbas region, and the south of our state, artillery and mortar fire continued unabated. My sympathies go out to the victims' loved ones and families. All required assistance is provided to everyone who was hurt. The missiles were shot down in part. Merely in part. We require a strong, fully functional air defense that is current, which can provide total defense against these missiles. Every day, my partner and I discuss this. A few deals have already been made. Additionally, if partners are truly partners and not onlookers, they must move more quickly. Any limits or delays in the delivery of weaponry to our state serve as an open invitation for repeated attacks from Russia. We must use all of our force to defeat the terrorists who are the occupiers in order to disabuse them of the notion that they can exert pressure and outmaneuver others. What is the purpose of these missiles today? And what are the 62 missiles fired yesterday, for just one Saturday, for 24 hours? They speak of the Russian approach, which is to escalate whenever major world events occur. They also deal with tenacity at the same time. For instance, the fact that the G7 summit attendees, who are currently meeting in Germany, have the strength and numbers to put a halt to Russian aggression against the Ukraine and against all of Europe. There is a chance. However, this is only feasible if we receive all of the things we request in a timely manner, including the weapons, funding, and sanctions on Russia. In this conflict, it cannot be otherwise. Because decisions on how life will be in Europe in the future are being made here, in the skies over Kyiv, in the sea near Odessa, on the ground of the Kharkiv area, Donbas, in the Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions. Nowhere else but here, in Ukraine. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We look forward to seeing you next time, on Warzone.